welcome to How to Grow Garden. So today we are going to be building a greenhouse. Now it is going to be a very small, very simple, very rustic kind of greenhouse. I'd like some shelves on the back and I'd like a big potting table in the front. The whole thing I want really, really small. But I want to give you a little quick show of where the before is. This is the main driveway and that's the road. The highway is way out there. You come in and if I turn around, you can see behind me the driveway splits. So this is where we're going to see how it's kind of like an island because it's all separate. That right in the middle is where I'm going to put the greenhouse. Now what I want is to keep the trees on this side. I want to keep the lilacs and everything on this side, and I just want to pull the lilacs back on that side so we can kind of nestle the little greenhouse in so it has protection from wind and it has protection from the cold and the snow and all that kind of stuff. It's across from the goat barn, which is nice. And of course, as winter comes, this will all be cleaned up, right? So it needs to face kind of this way. And there is a really big space back here as long as I pull out some of these lilacs. I do want them to grow up eventually around it. And we will have the west on the back. So I'm thinking of putting a few tiny little windows in the top just to get a little bit of that west sunlight coming in. Although it's not really emergency important. And there's tons of room back here, so we could actually move it back a little bit. But I think I want it to have like maybe a little front yard area, so I can also turn that into actual gardens. That would be really amazing. See, now here's the thing. I want to build a greenhouse, but if I figure out where I want to put it, and then later on I'm going to custom the whole front and the sides and the gardens around it to be really beautiful, then it shouldn't be up by the edge, should it? It should be back a little bit more, kind of back nestled in here, so I need to take out some of these lilacs so that I have more front yard, which would be beautiful, and I'll see them from the studio when I'm working in the studio or having morning coffee. I'll see them. I'm also going to put some stone paths, which will come off the driveway and up, and of course the truck and car are here right now, but they're not going to be here, well, no, they were here last year too. This could be used as a yard, but we've actually turned it into a mini little driveway so that the view from the old house to the cottage is not obstructed. So when you look out the window, you don't see the cars right away. And then back here, just as a side note, we finally took down the door. Remember that terrible door that was there? I filled the goat barn with hay. I think I can put 6 more bales of hay into there. Now the door hasn't been removed. We've just got it resting here. These are the other terribly ugly pieces that went to that. Okay, so I think that might have been clear. I hope that that made a little bit of sense and I didn't wiggle too much. So I'm going to go get my tools and I'm going to start chopping. And I hope it takes only a day. I'm really, fingers crossed, hoping we can at least get the framing and the siding and the inside and the windows, you know, everything kind of done all in one day. That would be super awesome. But before I go, I just want to quickly show you what I did up here. So this is the house. This is our little cottage. This is my mother's trailer. She dropped it off and I was unloading some manure. And way back here, of course, we're doing wood. We have wood fires. So do you remember way back when I was talking about back here, way back here, and how this was all dirty and messy and there were stones everywhere and it was just total chaos. And now I just finished this just 2 days ago. I organized the rocks and I filled it full of manure and some soil on top, which really needs water. This soil is very, very dry. And then there's this bed. Let me see here. There's the first one. There's the second one up here, just past this elm tree. Then we have a space, and we have our stairs going up. Of course, there's more logs because we are in the middle of chopping and splitting wood. We have our steps, which you guys probably saw quite some time ago when Bella was running on that last year. And then I built 2 more. So we've got this upper one and this lower one. 2 more little pools. And then the 2 down there, which are already filled. So these 4 new beds will become my nursery beds. And because now it's very unfortunate that this happened, I don't like it at all, but this elm tree has decided to die on us. You can see it's got a little green, but mostly it's dead. Terribly sad. Really not happy. It was a gorgeous, gorgeous tree. But like all the elm trees in this property, they've all got Dutch elm disease and they're all just dying. Which is turning out to be quite tragic and complicated because some of them are really in the way. This one is too close to the house. So because it's died, do you see all the sun that has now opened up? which means at least for the foreseeable future until any of these trees get large enough, which will be many years, this will all be at least full morning sun here. So I'll be planting them up as nursery beds with all my hollyhocks and my echinacea and my, you know, all that fun stuff, my phlox, etc., etc. Everything I'm propagating will be going in here. After, of course, it's in the greenhouse, and after it's grown a little bit, they'll come in here to grow on, and then from here, once they're big and thick and bushy, I'll move them into other places and back into the walled garden to fill up all the spaces in there, because we've got a lot of spaces. The more grass I take out, the more needs to go back, because spaces open up. Yeah, so that is, that's my little update. Did the beds, and we're gonna build the greenhouse. Yay! Oh, it fits. You've got the window in. Cute. It looks like a window that opens. Clearly doesn't. I'm gonna do a little walk around and show you over here what it looks like. So it's coming along. Helps when there's someone in your house that can just whip these things together. So it's gonna go this way. We'll see that in a second. Ta-da. And I cleared all of this right up to the edge. There's still a little more to do in here, and I'm going to straighten that line, and then I want to take some of those lilacs and put them behind over there. And I'm tearing out some of the ditch dahlias in here in order to put some lilacs, so that again this part will be a little more private. It's really neat to be in a space that's really private and then be outside in a different space that's feels totally different. So that's like our garbage pile. It's all going to the recycle center, and these are some of the lilacs that are moving over there. So, yeah, that's as far as we've gotten, which is pretty good because we've only been working at this for about maybe two and a half hours or so. Clearing was pretty easy. Just pulled stuff out, cut it all off, and then got the lawnmower out and cut it all down. I still have to go in and get some of the roots out, so that won't be nearly as much fun. But a lot of this will grow back, which is okay. So while we're making a big mess right now and clearing it out, see here, the daylilies will all grow back in here, unless I think long term I'm going to do landscaping in here and use this whole front area as an actual garden. It's got really good full sun. This little structure will change that a little bit, but otherwise it'll have really good full sun in here. So this will become, again, another nursery bed right in this area. This isn't full sun right now, because the sun it's getting pretty late in the day and the sun is way over there. Not quite finished on this side. We built a gate! Yay! Gate number 1. We're nicknaming it the Elephant Gate because it's huge. And coming around here, following this little path to the gate, immediately to my right I've put another path in, which is pretty cool. And this path is so that I can access this bed from the back, and so I could also fill in this side, which was originally the back bed, and it was just full of ditch daylilies, which are now a big pile right here. Now the ditch daylilies are still in there, so they're still going to grow and fill this whole area in with lilies, or with daylilies, but I took out all the roughage from this year. I wanted to get more going on here, and if I pop through here, which is of course locked, if I pop through here you will see that there is a new building. Let me just come over to the front and I'll show you what's going on. So, ta-da! It's a very tiny little space, and I'm not finished. I'm going to be putting board and batten all the way across here, but is that not the best place ever to film from? I mean, no, not at twilight because it's pretty dark right now, but isn't that cool? It's just gorgeous today. So yeah, we've got lots of open sky here. So I really wanted to take advantage of that open sky and all this open space. Now normally I park my car here, which is fine. I need to put some more grass seed down because it would be really nice if this was nice and greening up. The house, though, the cottage is greening up really, really well. the yard, of course, in the cottage. But what we're doing for that is we're building a huge winter parking lot, or we have a new winter parking lot site which we're working on, and that's way up the hill. When we come in off the highway, there's a really big hill, and if we don't have to come down that hill but we just zip right into the new parking spot way at the end of the road, then we can park our cars up there without having to worry about getting in and out in the winter, because it gets really cold here and really slippery, and that big part, the initial hill when you come off the highway, is always icy. It's terrible. So back into the walled garden. I'm just going to give you a quick run around. It's getting really late. Well, it's about 7 o'clock, 7:30, but it is getting late. I also put some clematis. Let me show you down here. I moved some lovely clematis here onto the base of this arch on both sides, so next year it'll be climbing up. I was trying to find some new homes for that, and I also raked the whole place just a few hours ago, so it's looking much better. The paths are all nice and beautiful. You can really see the paths now. This absolutely gorgeous plant here, this is called bugbane. It has really dark foliage. It's just gorgeous. It has these beautiful purple stalks, and then eventually they come out to this beautiful white stuff. I've never seen this flower. But I moved it from underneath the pear tree, where it was getting absolutely no light, over here where it gets partial light, but partial shade, but mostly sunny. So here it seems to be doing much better because it's happy and it's obviously blooming, and it just looks incredible. I want to put some of my tools away because I was still working on my little greenhouse. I'm doing the board and batten on the outside, or the inside and the outside on the back. So I've still got that to work on. And then I wanted to get the garden watered, the places where I did move things. And then when I'm all done that, it'll be time to go inside, make a tea, and read a book. Thanks for watching. Toodaloo, guys.